day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing Black Clover Chapter 289 titled Freezing Sun. Before we begin, two things. First, if you're new here, consider hitting the sub button. Also, if you watch the videos, consider hitting the sub button because I see like 50% of y'all aren't subscribed yet. So please, it helps the channel, it helps me, it helps us grow. So please hit the sub button down below. Second thing, when I hit 150 subs, I'll be doing a question and answer video. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or you could send them on Twitter or Instagram, which are both linked below too in the description. Um, so yeah, let's begin. Black Clover 289, spoiler alert. If you haven't read it already, because I will be spoiling. So yeah, let's begin. So this chapter picks up directly where we left off last time. Asta cut Nama, I believe it's pronounced, in half, and we see blood spurting out of him and a trail of ice. Um, and that trail of ice is basically Lilith, I believe, and she has gone up to Nama, and we see Asta is just there looking at them, and she says, "What a shame that basically Nama got taken out first." Um, and she puts her hand and holds his face, and she says, "But now we'll be together." So, and they have this kind of big eruption, I guess. I'm not sure if it's like magic or black goo or something. And we see Asta and Nock look shocked, and we see something forming. And what it is we get this huge, big panel of two of them fused together. And it looks pretty cool. Of course, you know how each of them had one half of their body colored like in white because it's black and white, and two wings on one side. Now it's combined to fully make one of them. Um, I tried to color this to the best of my ability and how I depict and think they would look. So I'll throw that up on the screen. Also, one thing to note is she said you got hit first in the ma. So I'm wondering if that means two of them were having a game. Because the full form devil, we don't get its name if it has a name, looks a bit feminine. um, so I'm not sure if that means she's in control or if the male one is in control, but basically it opens two eyes in the middle of its forehead. Creepy. Kind of like how Aizen had the eye in the middle of his forehead when he awoke on. Fight for when he fought Ichigo. And turned into the creature that but basically she says Asta is her ultimate prey, and Noctis concerned, very concerned, and Asta is just there chilling, and he screams out like an idiot, of course. And he's like, "You're probably have incredible magic, but I can't sense magic, so I don't know." Um, of course, another thing is the name of this chapter is titled Freezing Sun, and I guess that's because, of course, the two of them combined fire and ice, and because of something else later on. So I'll get to that when we get there. But basically, Nama and Lilith begin firing attacks at Asta, fire and ice again, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything because Asta is evading and blocking with his sword, and I believe we see them fly up into the air. And when they fly up, we see all the vines from the tree of Quiloff right around them, or on the battlefield that is. So that's pretty cool. And they put their hand up in the air, kind of like a Dragon Ball Z move, and start beginning to make a huge um, sun again. So I'm guessing this is reference to the title as well. A huge freezing sun because it's ice and fire. And it tells, I'm going to say it because I don't know its name. So it makes this big freezing sun, I guess. And it tells us that even if you can avoid it or block this attack, that doesn't mean the people below wouldn't. So it's more of an attack where it's big enough that it can wipe out the city then. And I guess it's trying to make Asta tank the attack. However, it says grieve, of course, because it wants Asta to grieve. We get a comparison of the ball and the city, and it's way bigger. And we see Asta flying to the sky to counter it, and he says basically all you did was got bigger, that being the attack and the demon. And Asta says I got bigger as well, and he draws out his sword, and he says first sword demon slayer. And we've seen him done this before as well with his black divider, where the sword gets bigger, but he basically makes the sword huge, ginormous, and he hits the sun kind of like a bat, like a cricket bat or a baseball bat. He hits it to block it, and we get one thing when we jump to the next panel. We see a quick glimpse of two people in the shadow. Say just how big are you going to get? And we know who that is. From the looks of it, that is Magna, who we haven't seen in ages, as well as Zora, because we can tell it's Zora because of the smile. Um, so I'm interested to see how much they've grown. We see them cloaked up as well watching, and Magna said just how big are you going to get? So I'm guessing this is either in reference to Asta being jacked or how huge his sword is getting. Wink, wink. But yeah, and Asta repels the attack and sends it back at the demon. And we see one panel of the demon looking down, and the chapter ends there. Um, so this was a quick chapter. It was just basically go from the start, only action. Um, so a few things I think may happen is I think Asta is going to defeat this demon. Not yet though. I think he's going to, whichever pronoun you prefer, it's going to use another big move. Maybe Asta's time will run out, and since we got introduced to Magna and Zora, maybe they will step in to buy Asta time. Kinda like how when Luffy's haki ran out in Gear 4, someone had to buy him that 10 minutes recharge. Maybe something like that. Or maybe Asta is just going to defeat it next chapter and that's it. What I am wondering though is what happens when you defeat a devil? Because we know in Asta's ritual, and same as Noct, when they subdued the demon joined them. So I'm wondering if this is a totally different circumstance, of course, but what takes place with the demon when they defeat it here? Will the demon pledge allegiance to them, or the devil that is pledge allegiance to them? Um, will it go to someone else who has similar powers and maybe give them a boost? Um, that's a big question here because we've been seeing and saying that we want them to win, of course, as Stanley. But we didn't think that far ahead as to what happens. Will the devils just die and that's it? End of the story. Because I think maybe, depending on how this goes, maybe Asta could get more devils. Though I don't think the league would want to share Asta. But in that aspect, maybe then when they win, the power goes to someone else, or the devil goes to someone else to power them up and help them for the rest of their lives. Kind of like Noct and Asta. Um, so that's an interesting thing I wanted to mention that I think. So yeah, I'm also curious to see if Magna learned any new strong attacks because we know he didn't train with the Heart Kingdom, and we know that because we saw it in the filler episodes as well that he was there but he couldn't handle it and he left because he didn't have the talent fit. Um, so I'm wondering where did he go to train first of all. Um, we see Zora went with him of course because we haven't seen Zora since then and we know he didn't train there either. So I'm wondering where both of them went, just how powerful they become or became that is. Um, so yeah, and so far we've seen two of Asta's abilities. I'm wondering now if we are going to see the other two before the fight ends as well, using the two other swords. Um, so yeah, all in all, this is a really good chapter. I like the um, design is what I was going to say. Yes, I like the design of this new devil or the twin devils fusing, how it's half and half and if you notice as well, I'll try to pick it back up. If you notice, like one of the arms, there's icicles coming out of the shoulder, and one there's flames coming out of the shoulder. Same thing for the head. If you look on top of the head, one side has icicles and one side has flames. Same for the legs. If you look by the kneecaps, you'll see flames on one side and icicles, or what looks like icicles, on one side. Same for the wings, of course. So, yeah, I thought that was a really cool design. I'm hoping all the other devils have some really awesome designs like this, because Yuki Tabata, because Tabata has some really cool designs. Um, Even in Hungry Joke, I believe he had some really decent designs before that got cancelled. I read that. That was cool. Um, so yeah, let's see where this goes next. And of course, like I said, please subscribe. I know 50% of you aren't subscribed yet, so please hit the subscribe button and leave your questions down below for the Q&A when we get there. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.